this is completely a Kevin Clancy failure. This Barstool Radio thing, completely.
He doesn't really go at the made men anymore, though.
Correct. You are right about that. It's easy to go after Rico Bosco. It's easy to go after, but Kevin said he was in charge in New York. He put two people in position who had.
I don't know if that's true.
1,000%.
No. When has Kevin said he's in charge in New York?
He sends out these emails all the time to people in New York.
He's trying to cheer him up. I don't know that he's in charge in New York.
Okay.
I thought Frank the Tank won New York King.
All right,
he is the king of New York.
Okay. Well, Kevin put those two people in that spot for Barstool Radio, correct? You didn't.
That is correct. And I didn't know, and if we're being honest, I didn't know that happened or was happening. I never would have put them. Well, no, that's not true. I actually would have thought Kelly Keegs would have maybe been good at it. I had no idea that Francis wanted to make Barstool Radio a show about dressing fancy and drinking wine. I was caught off guard by that statement, and that was
out and about already.
Yeah, but that's out and about. Listen, if Francis and Keegs wanted to do a show about dressing fancy and drinking wine and call it the Fancy Pantsy Show and put it on their own socials, I would have no problem with that. They just can't do Barstool Radio.
So whose fault was it? So you don't blame Kevin at all? I mean, it feels like to me like you did.
Kevin definitely has a role. Now it's a he said she said a little bit between Kevin and Keegs and Francis, and whether it was clear on what was expected. But yeah, there was definitely miscommunication. I actually, if we're being hand to God, when I knew Kevin was done with Barstool Radio, because it was eating Barstool Radio and KFC Radio is like essentially the same thing. I thought we were just done with Barstool Radio. I didn't know he was giving it to somebody else.
Right. So you would have said, don't do that.
I would have said, do not do that. Correct. Yeah, I would have said, just get rid of it.
But in the end, if a team fails miserably over and over, the GM ends up getting gassed, right?
Yeah. You don't fire the players. You fire the coach and the owner, pretty much. You're not firing Dave. So, I mean, so in the blame pie, how much blame does Kevin get? How much blame does Keegs get? How much blame does Francis get? Because I would go Kevin more. I blame the guy who put the people in that position more.
I think it's 33% each.
If Kevin reached out to me and said, I'm going to do a show with Francis, Kelly Keegs, and have a Barstool Radio, I would have said that would die in 5 minutes.
Here's the thing, and this is, I haven't really talked to Kevin. What?
It would be DOA, Keegs and Francis doing that show.
Here's the thing. Here's what I don't, and I haven't talked to Kevin at all about this. Dan is the clear leader of Chicago, right? Because it's his move. He's like, I'm going to Chicago. We're building this office. Everybody come with me. He is clearly the top dog in Chicago. I left New York, but it's like I still view myself as like kind of running New York. So, yeah, I moved to Miami. Kevin has, I guess, de facto, but I never looked at like, is he the Dan of New York? I've never viewed it that way. So I would still view myself as involved in New York. So
that's kind of a shot.
Total
across
shot.
The bow there.
Yeah.
At who?
Kevin.
Why?
Well, if
what do you mean?
If
you're gone, you're not there.
No, I'm back in. I'm paying attention.
Yeah, but you're not there. You live.
What does that mean? I'm still the head of the company. I'm paying attention.
Well, then why aren't you a bigger factor in Chicago then?
Because Dan, like,
you own a company. You own a company. It's in Chicago.
No. But I was always like in New York. I didn't move. I went to Miami, but I was still like. You wouldn't have said Dan's head of New York when he was in New York. He physically picked everything up and moved to Chicago. It's like landing on the moon. He placed a flag on a place we hadn't been.
Right.
We had already been in New York.
New York feels like a rudderless ship to me right now.
I don't mind it that way. I like having tumbleweed blowing in the wind, and I like the angst, and I like what's going on there. It can't all be kumbaya. You have two different worlds. You have a very nice planet, and then you have a planet that has, it's a little bit rough around the edges and people are getting shot at and you got to lock your door and your window at night. I have no problem with that.
Which is why
as the current owner of the company, you own everything again.
Correct.
At some point, and I actually have many friends in New York, but for this show to be fair and honest, like at some point, Chicago is making you a ton of money. I don't know if New York is making you a ton of money. So at some point in time, are you going to be like, all right, yeah, I love the angst. I love the tumbleweeds. But this isn't worth it.
Oh, let me ask you this before you answer that. How much is like the rent in that New York place? It must be a fortune.
I heard you guys signed a 10-year lease. So
we're in it for the long haul. So we're not going. But
how much?
I don't know off the top.
You don't know?
Penn pay for it? So now it's already paid for.
No. We pay every month. I pay for it.
Is that like a six-figure a month? I have no idea. It's like two.
It's six figures. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a fucking lot.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Whitney, no. The tumbleweed and the angst. Barstool has things that make money, and then Barstool has things that very much make Barstool. You can say, what was the number one story the last 2 weeks? This Keegs and Nate. That is core Barstool. We've always had it. And the things that sometimes are headlines, PMT makes a shit ton of money and other stuff. Chicks in the Office, ton of money. They're in New York. So
forgot about them.
There's people, Brianna Chicken Fry, New York. So you can't just act like New York. You see Nate. Nate's never going to make a dime for this company, but he's going to pop up once a year, and he's going to be in the headlines being an asshole.
But the difference is, like, Brianna Chicken Fry and Chicks in the Office are physically in the New York office, but they're not in the dirt in New York. Brianna Chicken Fry could be in L.A. Chicks in the Office could be in L.A. They're not in the day
that's not
day
fair.
out.
See, the Chicks in the Office is in the office all the time.
No, they're making a ton of money. They're killing it. But I'm saying they're not part of this, like, dirty, crazy, fighting shit going on.
But that's core Barstool.
Which is core bar? Which part?
The dirty fighting shit.
I agree, but when you're giving them credit, like, that's almost giving New York credit. Like, they could be anywhere and they'd be successful.
What? Oh, KFC if we want them.
Sure, if you want them, yeah, sure.
I don't know. Austin came in. It's your show. Did you not know he was there?
How the hell would I know? Nobody tells me. And nobody's telling me anything. Nobody. How would I know?
I don't know. How do I know? I'm in Vegas. How do I know?
You're with everyone, you said.
So is Kevin. I'm here. I'm in fucking Watertown.
I'm not with Kevin. I'm in a fucking Park MGM suite.
Is Kevin Clancy currently in Watertown, Massachusetts, or Las Vegas, Nevada?
He's in Las Vegas.
Okay, I'm in Watertown, so I don't
He's
think...
not with me. I don't know where Kevin is. I don't even know how we got him.
He's sitting next to me right now. I don't think he's in the blind mic.
There he is.
There he is.
What is going on? I don't need to come on this show right now. Am I invited or not?
Why are you here? Why are you forcing
Well, Dave just said you were ready to come on, but then he said he doesn't know.
No, Austin came in and said Kevin's here.
Marina sent me a link and said, here's a link if you want to join the show. I assumed you were talking about me. I got shit to do. I can go.
Basically what we were saying was how much of the